Hey folks, Quilly here, and welcome to Let's Play Ostranauts. Ostranauts is a fairly hardcore space sim RPG, I guess, probably is a better way to describe it, a combination of the two, where we're going to be playing a character with a spaceship that is, well, at least at the start anyway, we are going to be playing pretty much as a kind of a shipbreaker. I would suggest that the best way to think of Ostranauts is kind of a mix between something like Barotrauma and maybe Space Station 13, although this is a strictly single-player game. It is the second game by this developer, who also made, I believe, Scavenger, which I haven't played, but people have great things to say about it. It is a fairly, very indie game. It has recently, just actually yesterday, officially been announced that Kit Fox Games is going to be publishing it. They're the same people who helped bring Dwarf Fortress to Steam, so clearly this is a company that likes little indie games with a certain degree of complexity. We're going to go through the character creation process here, and then we'll boop around the game. Now, I did play this one time on stream, technically, so I'm recording this the day after the stream. I played for a couple hours in the morning, then I streamed it for actually 3 hours. I went overtime because I was having so much fun. It was great, but we agreed that we should start over because mostly we want to start with a bigger ship to start off with because we were being a little bit limited by the size of our ship. Now we can build and expand our ship, but it's going to be a lot easier to get us kickstarted if we start with something a little bit bigger. So we're sort of looking at ourselves in the mirror here. This mirror's scratched up. It's got stickers and various graffiti all over the place. These are randomized every time, actually, which is kind of neat. On stream, we did play as Petra. People overwhelmingly, because I always, when we play an RPG, I tend to ask people, should we play as Quill or should we play as Petra? Overwhelmingly, people were in favor of Petra. I was wondering about playing as Quill for the YouTube series to sort of differentiate, but you know what? I think I still like the idea. We're gonna go ahead and do that. So we'll be Petra. We could keep the same last name. We could be Petra Kramer. One of the things in the character creation process is it does generate parents for you, and your parents will have the last name that your character started with here. And currently in the current build, which is, I mean, it's still early access. They have announced apparently that they're looking for a 1.0 release in, I think, early 2025 for this. But yeah, it's still in early access. This version 14 actually just dropped basically. Lots of new features in here, but your parents' last names will be whatever is there, and as far as I can tell, we can't reset it. I'm tempted to go Petra 18 because that's usually what I do, but we could leave Petra Kramer in here and just refer to them as Petra. That might be fine. Ooh, honestly, I don't hate this. I don't think I like the glasses. Maybe we can change the glasses here. Don't mind the square ones. I mean, we could go without any glasses as well. No. I think if I don't go glasses, I'd probably change the eyes. They look a little too tired to me. You know what? Maybe I kind of dig this. I kind of like the, I mean, I don't know if this is just the artistic version of sort of black hair over here, but it's got kind of a purplish tint to it that I find is kind of cool. We got a handful of scars going on. I think I like this. Welcome to the world, Petra Kramer. Let's bring you up over here. Yeah, so you can see we get a backstory. Let's go ahead and read this. Your first, so from the start, OKLG Labor Department. OKLG is the, what do you call this? Sort of the registration, the call sign of the space station that we're currently at. So OKLG Labor Department, build a resume center. Petra Kramer, aged 18. We are worth $99.13. Oh, we were worth $99.89 on our stream version, so less money over here. Your first corporate checkup. The IO Timiwa, which I'm just going to call IO from now on. The IO MedTech takes a glance at your chart, then at your body, then back at your chart. Immunosuppressed, low bone density, hypovolemic standard condition for a young spacer on K-Leg Station, born and raised as you were in the weak microgravity of a 33-kilometer asteroid. Shout out to anyone who's watched The Expanse. I have still not finished The Expanse. I really have to get to it, but it's not a show I can casually watch while doing something else. It needs 100% focus, and I have a hard time finding time to do that. So I believe K-Leg might be the asteroid that the station is on, and OKLG, like you can see K-Leg over here, I believe is what's going on. I think that technically this is in the same kind of continuity as Scavenger. So for people who did play that game, I think there's an overlap in sort of story over there. Doc says the insomnia is catching up to you. It's chronic around here, something likely caused by radiation, lack of sunlight. Your eyes work well enough for now, but they're still bad and getting worse. 18 years old and rapidly approaching middle age. Your muscles are feeble by Mars standards. They wouldn't stand a chance on Earth. No shit, you say. You're no Earther. You never will be. A heart monitor beeps and then beeps again. The board text scribbles a few notes and grants your work permissions. Healthy enough to strip hulls in the boneyard, despite everything. Fine with you. Closer to the ships after all, and you're going to get one. So we get our biological parents over here. So Lewis is from Virginia Titan, and Daniela is from Hangzhou Orbital in Mars. And I believe planets are actually new in version 14 over here, and we can indeed visit them. Although if we do, it's going to be a while before that happens. So then this is a system that's reminiscent of a few different RPGs where you kind of build your character by working through their life path over here. There's a variety of things we can do before we kick into the game. So this isn't what the game looked like. This is just character creation. But these things will take time. So we're currently 18 years old, and it says we're approaching middle age. So I don't actually know what the lifespan of these characters are. I think by the time we hit around 30, it lists our characters officially middle age, and I think by the time they're 40, I think it's listing them as being like old, past middle age, past their prime. And it's like, dude, you're hurting my heart right now. Or maybe that's because I'm 45 and my heart just sort of starts hurting sometimes. That's not true, it doesn't, but you know, I do still feel old at this point sometimes. Anyway, so I'm going to replicate a little bit how we did it on stream, because I think it was a good way to demonstrate things. So for example, we could work on our traits. We've got, a breakdown of a few things here. If we click on work on traits, we can actually see what traits we have with a little bit more clarity. It was described in the narration over there, but there's a variety of different traits that we can have. These ones with a thumbs up are the ones we've got. So we are visually impaired, unfit. We have sharp hearing. Hey, that's great. Slow metabolism. We're immunosuppressed. We're an insomniac. Micro G hypovolemia over here. So it says we just have less blood, for example. We are feeble and fragile, all not good things. So on the stream, what I did is I went ahead and got rid of fragile. So because it seems like a pretty bad idea. It's going to take us 1 year of self-improvement to get rid of this fragile trait. These little dots next to it is how many years it takes to do things. We can't do fit because we're currently unfit. So if we clicked on this, we're now 19 years old. Despite your best efforts, your dream of owning your own salvage ship still eludes you. You find yourself wondering if a change of strategy is in order. How will you spend the upcoming years? And at some point, we will hit seek ship, which takes a year, and it will provide us with a ship. And if we accept it, that is the end of the character building. We then go and start the game proper. But we're going to take a few rounds of seek adventure here, is what we're going to do. Shady deal. You're approached by a coworker who has developed a less than legal method for making cash on the side. Apparently, they've been tagging high value salvage as junk in the system for the last 6 weeks. After the false tag, they leave the part aboard the derelict and sell the location to the highest bidder. This scheme always involves the complicity of the breaker doing the final sweep, and today that happens to be you. The piece in question is a busted reactor, and you know it will fetch a pretty penny on the black market. It's a big take if you can pull it off, but there are risks. So we have a few different options, and they do have various pros and cons. Sometimes one of the buttons is like, well, that's mostly bad. And sometimes the buttons are mostly good. Sometimes there's various pros and cons. I think what we did, well, there was some of them we did the report. And so I think on this one, though, we ended up doing instigate violence. What's interesting about this one is I think this will actually give us like the tough trait, which seems pretty compelling. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to say we're no chump. Something about this whole scheme doesn't sit right with you. In fact, you don't like the way this person is looking at you. Do they think they're better than you? Tougher? You ask them as much and then don't listen to their answer. I like that. You ask them and then don't listen to their answer. A scuffle ensues. One thing leads to another, and somebody, not you, gets brained with a crowbar. If they wanted to avoid said fate, you think to yourself as you flee the scene, then they shouldn't have implied you were some kind of weakling. You sure showed them who the weakling is. So we have a new enemy, Bianca May, who's a criminal from UCal Venus over here, has got the stupid 2000 glasses. I've got that. So what do we get? We developed skilled in armed melee, skilled in unarmed melee, and we are now tough. We also got $900. That's fantastic. And a new enemy. So if we click OK, it'll update our money's value. There we go. We just multiplied our net worth by 10, which is pretty fantabulous. Now, for reasons that'll become obvious once we start, we would really love to end this character creation phase with over $5,000 and maybe a little over 6,000 to have a buffer for a few things, but it will be very nice. We are 20 years old though. But let's seek some more adventure. This seems, you can save some money, which I think is just a static way to generate a fixed amount of money. I think I read that it's about 750 bucks. Seek adventure sometimes does less, sometimes does substantially more, but it can also give us some extra little skills on the side. So we're going to do that. Daily grind. When all said and done, shipbreaking and scavenging and hustling is a grind. What was once dangerous eventually becomes monotonous. This just so happens to be a phase in your life which, looking back, you can't remember any interesting events at all. The only thing noteworthy about this particular period of backbreaking 100-hour weeks is what you started doing to cope. How do you deal with the boredom? So this is going to be, I believe, basically just a way to get some extra skill points. Or develop an extra skill. So if we hit hacking, we'll get the hacking skill, which is useful in game and also kind of useful in the character creation phase. There's quite a few things that will benefit from having a hacking skill. I don't know what watch old movies will do. It'll probably give us some sort of social skills. Suit maintenance. So being able to maintain your EVA suits is apparently something that is quite good and is nice to have. And so we could unlock it over here. Second job, an electrician, will give us electrical engineering, which is really fantastic for repairing, building, and deconstructing certain types of things when we're going around doing salvage works. So I think there's 3 different skills that come into play depending on what you're trying to construct, deconstruct, repair. And so electrical is one. Oh, I thought this was shit posting. I thought we're just going to go troll the internet. Go ship spotting or Fight Club. I don't think we need to do Fight Club. We're already skilled in 2 different forms of melee, and we're tough. I think when we did this on stream, I did do hacking to develop that skill, and it was useful for other things. I'm wondering about shaking it up and taking the second job as an electrician. Let's do that and see what it does for us. So, we gain the patient skill, and or the patient trait, and then skilled in electrical engineering. It earned us an extra couple of $100. Propelled by an intoxicating blend of pride and masochism, you find yourself taking a second gig with IO in entry-level maintenance. Your job officially is to ensure the working condition of IO consumer-facing assets, but your new coworkers are quick to inform you that what you've actually become is the kiosk bitch. The humble kiosk, OKLG, is littered with them. The royal red Van Buren Pharma, the lime and gray Gig Nexus, the burnt orange of the IO refuel station. It's not lost on you that in the early days of colonization rush, these might have been man jobs, each providing a salary healthy enough to keep at least one spacer housed and fed. But why pay a spacer for what a screen can accomplish twice as fast? Plus, you don't have to give a kiosk their death pay bonus after the screen is inevitably smashed to bits by drunk revelers in the OE. I wonder what that is. I don't know what the OE is. At first, the job doesn't offer much in the way of excitement. Faulty buy button on a pharma box at Noco Marina, quick solder job. Refuel kiosk in the port has a stuck slider, admin reset. Gig Nexus at Azikiwe Estates has a screen flicker. Hard smack does it. But soon enough, you discover a strange aptitude for electrical maintenance. Circuit boards begin to present to you as cities in miniature. The copper traces running like tiny roadways, LED diodes flashing like traffic lights beneath capacitors looming like the apartment sudscrapers on Tharsis Landing. The gig doesn't last, but your fascination does. Now, every time you pass a kiosk, you can't help but press your face inside the vents just to get a quick look at the little world inside. I like that. I like this style of writing. This is really very much my vibe too, right? The LED diodes flashing like traffic lights beneath capacitors looming like apartment subscrapers. Love it. Okay, let's seek some more adventures. We're 21 years old. We still need some more cash too. Let's do this. King Incognito. You're drinking at the local watering hole after your shift when you see the unicorn. They're the scion of an IO executive sneaking out to rub shoulders and bump uglies with the common folk. You wince as they try to pay for their round in yuan. It's dollars for the likes of us, friend. If you're careful and lucky, they could be an opportunity. Now, we did this one on the stream, and it was kind of interesting because the stream people want us to go seduce them. And I'll tell you what happened. I don't think we're going to do that this time. We're going to shake it up. But seduce them. You spend a year with this rich person, living sort of the good life. You develop skill in cooking, dancing. You gain the beautiful trait, because I guess that explains how you seduce them, and you gain another contact who is an ex-lover. I think I want to try something different just to see what we got. Unfortunately, if we had the hacking skill, and we know this because we got this event twice on stream, and the second time we had the hacking skill, and the hacking skill gave us ridiculous amount of money from this event. So that might have been good. We could pickpocket them, try to mug them. We could start a brawl. I suspect that's not going to do much for us. Do we just seduce them? The beautiful trait is presumably going to help us maybe on future social interactions in game. All right, you know what? For the sake of sort of consistency with the stream run, sure, we'll seduce them. You catch their eye across the crowded bar. A held gaze, a quirk of the brow, that's all it takes. You're that good. It's a crying shame you scrap spaceships for a living. Sure, it's a quintessential hustle, and to their credit, they're savvy enough to realize it, but it's not like it's slave labor. That's an inner system thing. 6 months, then a year. Time flies in comparative luxury. In the end, you're forced to break it off. They're forced to break it off for an arranged marriage to another IO family. But you'll always have Paris, the only cafe on the asteroid. New ex-lover, Young Ingram, manager from Namdi Azikiwe Station, K-Leg. All right. So yeah, we get a few skills. Get charismatic. So charismatic and beautiful. These might be really useful for us. But we didn't get any money. Rare salvage. She's a real beauty. The Testudo Heavy Lifter 448. And it's with a confusing mix of honor and dismay that you're contracted to take her apart. On day 4 of the break, you're welding through a wall compartment when something catches your eye. You snap off the torch and take a closer look. Your breath catches at the sight. A Miura intake regulator, the apex of the defunct company's technical achievements. Today, one of the rarest aftermarket parts in the game. It's popular in other markets too. Maybe IO don't need to know about this. So what's interesting about this one, there's actually a lot of great ways to do it. We are patient, so we can go ahead and take this. We can take this last pick and claim this part, maybe sell it. I don't know. What we did, and what I think I will do anyway, is I'm going to smuggle it through the black market. So on stream, we didn't get a lot of money from this, but what it does is it sets us up with a contact in the black market. Although, if we're charismatic and beautiful, maybe we don't need to start with a black market contact. Maybe we can just, make friends in game. That's interesting. I kind of want to see what this does. Your plan is to move slow and steady, to wait for an opportune moments, to stare lovingly at the Hydra only when you're alone with it. But by day 7 of the break, the allure of the piece is just too much to handle. The moment your site manager signals they're going for a piss break, you set to work, convinced you can strip the part out and hide it somewhere safe before they get back. But while you manage to uninstall the piece, your manager returns to find you stowing it in a lesser-known air duct of the 448, and there's nothing you can say to convince them that's where it belongs. Your manager calls the infraction to IOSEC, and the Corp has run your trial and developed sentencing before the end of the ship. 2 armed officers lead you off-site and straight to booking. The IOSEC run Azikewe Bridge isn't a hard time at Prokofiev, but it's not ideal either. You're still going to have to get crafty if you want to get out here with all your limbs. I think we're just going to lose another year of our life here in the brig. The Azikewe Brig is a sprawling subcompound on the far east wing of OKLG, a warren of dormitories turned prison barracks nestled with alarming proximity to the station's main reactor. In fact, the jail facilities are intertwined with almost all the station's most dangerous industrial zones. The cacophonous scrap sorting lines, the near-freezing morgue, the foul-smelling waste processing facility, and the hothouse hydroponic grow-op it fertilizes. It's here where you do your time, compelled by IO to labor without wage among outcasts both meek and dangerous. You share a dorm with nearly 100 other souls, all you stack like kindling on triple-high bunks that leave you 10 inches between the nose and the brushed aluminum above it. But even a hell like this is not without opportunity. You hear things, you meet people, you get in a few scrapes, you find a few friends, scraps, I guess. By the end of your term, you've lived a dozen lives and you have all the scars to prove it. Plus free room and board. In certain light, it might be worth it. New enemy, new friend, new enemy, new contact. Let's zoom by a little bit here. So, right, shipbreaker, here we go. So, skills and attributes. Imprisoned prisoner, Scar from handcuffs. Pushover, Scar, Elio brutality. Skilled in stealth, observant. And all these contacts. So, I guess we failed to get the part. Oh, man, and we're now 25 years old? Okay, this is not going very well. Crackdown. Zhooey. A woman calls. You stop what you're doing, mouth dry. So do the dozen or so other day workers in a cramped dormitory, a silver class econo compartment in ASC barracks. That's the signal from the next pod over. They're coming. Outside the door and up the access corridor, you hear clatter of mag boots, marching in double time. Half dozen of your neighbors flee through the back door. Moments later, you hear a series of sharp cracks and screams. Shock arounds, you hope. You've got a moment to act. What do? You know what? We're going to keep taking some risks. We have unarmed melee. We're going to try to fight these guards. What could possibly go wrong? A few months back, you bought a piece just for this occasion, a crossbow, a printed plastic deal. Not the most powerful or flashy weapon on the station, but you always figured it would do the job. The first guy through the door is wearing body armor. You hold your fire, certain your bolts won't penetrate. The next guy in is a ranking captain wearing nothing but dress blues. Must have wanted to look nice for the raid. You put a bolt in his chest and he crumpled to the ground behind 100 foot-pounds of muzzle energy before drifting out into the hallway behind him. From there, the entire raid goes south. The leaderless goons can't tell which way is up. You and your roommates manage to hold your own in a scrum and you get out before any more shooting starts. On the way down the hallway, you snatch the officer's credentials, which will fetch a high price in the black market. You obviously won't be needing them anymore. So, what do we get? Skilled in archery, brave, and 1,700 bucks. We made an enemy in law enforcement. Okay, we got some cash, but we still need more. Large barge locker. Hulks of blackened metal loom all around you as you ride the labor barge out to the boneyard. The barge is so overloaded today, they've got some of you clinging to the cargo web full of locked crates. Crates with emergency supplies they'll no doubt deduct from your pay if you dare have an accident. But the armed guard's back is turned. So, there's no little risk thing, so I don't think this is actually based on us having the hacking skill, even though... Actually, we don't have the hacking skill. I think this will teach us hacking. We could report the poor security. Mislabel the crate. Let's try hacking the lock, because I think it'll teach us hacking. These cases have a far more update vulnerability you were reading about. Using a data cable to your handset, you try a script you've been working on to hack the pin. A flash of green and a puff of air signals your success, eliciting silent fist bumps and wide smiles from the neighboring laborers. We made a new friend, Xavier English, and skilled in hacking and leadership. But no money. Really need some money. You're gathered by coworkers to develop a less than legal method for making... Oh, this... Okay, we've done this one before. We did in the instigate violence, which gave us the... like, combat skills and stuff like that. Which was really good. But I don't think we need to do that again. So now we're kind of looking for probably more money in this case. Stab them? Like, maybe? Unless we get a reward from this? I wonder. I guess we got 900 bucks from the instigate violence. But I kind of want to try something else. I think we did this on stream and it was halfway okay. Okay, we got 900 bucks from this as well. Although we did get the selfish trait. Okay. Disturbed by this brazen act of theft, this doesn't actually sound like us. You go straight to the highest level manager you can find. The manager calls in their attached IOSEC detail, and together the three of you hash out the various culprits in the scheme. Before you leave the office, the manager hands you something as a gift. It's a limited edition IO hoodie. What a treat. Well, we can sell it for like 30 bucks or something. But yeah, we did get $900, which is good. But we are getting... okay. We need more cash, though. All right, poker game. This one's very interesting. Queen of Diamonds on the river. Matches up nicely with your ladies. Turns out it turns your two pair into a full house. Huang, the guy who got you into the game, is out. The ancient Nigerian shipping magnate folds. The suit, who you guess is an off-duty military contractor by her demeanor, folds. It's just you and the high roller, and he's been trailing for a while now. Tell you what, he says, smiling faintly underneath his mirror shades. Let's make this interesting. He tosses a command key for a starship onto the table. The other players go from quiet to deadly still. His only out was the inside straight draw for the straight flush. He surely wouldn't bluff with something so valuable, right? So this one here, I do know that saying no thanks and folding earns us a net gain for the night. We don't know, if he had it or not, but we're still way ahead in the night, and this keeps us good. We could cheat. We could grab the key and run, which will give us this ship, but we'll end our career phase, and, it'll be stolen. We could call him on a technicality as well, which is weird. Maybe he did a string bet or something like that. I know it's not terribly dramatic. We're going to fold. Fold in full house never easy, but the game continues and you still walk away with decent cash reward at the end of the day. Okay. We need a tiny bit more cash. Midway through scrapping yet another hulk, the cockpit of your allotted salvage pod lights up with red taillights. Suddenly, you're under thrust as one of the engines sends you spiraling away from the hulk's orbit into the black. It's unresponsive and nobody has the fuel to come save you. You're expendable. If you want to live, it's up to you. Now, hack engine, we did on stream, and I gave us the hacking skill, which now we do have, right? Yeah, we do have that. I think it also gave us the genius trait, which I don't think we looked at what it does, but it certainly sounds very good. We could take the stick. We could jury-rig the engine. We could troubleshoot the engine. I wonder if this would give us some sort of engineering skill. Or jury-rig. Troubleshoot. Troubleshoot sounds smarter. I kind of want to see it. Oh, this. It's a known issue on the Testudo Alpha series. You've just got to reroute the power through the axial breakers to trigger an interrupt request from the thrust control module at the same time as you hit the manufacturer's security keys, and yep, simple. Lucky this happened to you. Someone else might have been in serious trouble. Your manager's impressed you escaped without damaging the rig, and a rare display of generosity to offer your bonus on your weekly pay. So we've developed poor hearing, but we did get skilled in spaceship piloting and $850. Which puts us over the $5,000 mark. I would love a little bit more of a buffer. We want $5,000 for a salvaging license is basically it. I'm going to go one more. Okay, we got daily grind again, which we've gotten previously. I'm going to go suit maintenance because we don't have the EVA suit maintenance yet. Oh, there's actually quite a few things. The Bingham 12 vacuum mobility suit has 15 major seals. Lubricate them. The helmet has its own secondary battery system. Check the indicator, but also check the physical battery just in case, because one time you saw that false report. Relaminate the torso, groin, and skull with radiation absorbent using a fine brush tip. Poldarn? That's the mnemonic for a user review of the suit's internal metrics, according to IO. But once you get through it, review the balance calibration because the mnemonic doesn't cover that for some reason. Check boot soles for microabrasions and organic detritus. Try to scrounge some more cooling gel. The heatsink on the 12 series guzzles it down. Check internal fans for dust because dusty fans are to blood clots what heart attacks are to your sudden asphyxiation. At the start of this period, you can do a full check about 8 times per free shift. Towards the end, you're up to 14. It's the kind of thing someone might have called you insane for if it wasn't so incredibly common. If in one of your more lucid moments it occurs to you this routine might well save your life, but might destroy it too. Skilled in EVA suits, skilled in physics, and finicky. We are 30 years old now. All right, I think I'm going to call it. We're going to seek a ship because we might not get a good ship on the first go. We got the tiny one. You happen across an ad for the Roca TU-72A compact salvage pod. These models are mostly just life support and thrusters, but they work just fine for local travel and boneyard. The particular TU model available is a smaller floor plan, making it more fuel efficient and lightweight than other Ryoka models. Osugo's register is giving this vessel an OSR of moderate, indicating it's legal for sale, but does not possess ship systems beyond basic travel and life support. This is the ship we were playing with on the stream, and it's just way, way, way too small. So another year goes by. Okay. Managed to find a lead on someone selling a Testudo Melody. It's a small ship with life support, powers, and thrusters, but many vital components are exposed to hard vacuum, making it difficult to maintain without a pressure suit. That said, any ship could be a means to avoid daily grinds. It's barely bigger than the last one. How long am I willing to wait here? God. Do we try one more roll? Oh my god, this is even tinier. No! It's a standard shipping container. No! Oh my god. Okay, alright. This is my favorite one. You happen across a seller trying to offload a Testudo Dream. It's a small shuttlecraft used to ferry passengers in local space. It's not pretty, but it has life support, thrusters, even a few jump seats if you have friends you don't like so well. Might just be what you need to escape daily grind. Okay. So we're going to pick this one up. It is larger. It's got some room on the floor, which is going to be great. We're going to take this ship. All right. You're now the proud owner of a Testudo dream, and you can now reach some of the outer derelicts beyond the watchful eye of the yard masters. Now that you're on your own terms, your next move is up to you. Maybe score a valuable part or two for resale or reuse, boil down a platinum tier payout on a gig, or maybe even discover a ship discarded before its time. Whatever the case, it beats sweating in a suit all day for someone else's profit. Time to get out there and find your future. Well, this didn't necessarily go as smoothly as we'd like, but there we go. Oh, and I could have done maybe another skill check too, but no, we got to get started. So we have this. We're officially middle-aged, brave, charismatic, finicky, leader, observant, patient, pushover, selfish, beautiful, feeble. We still have the micro-G hypovolemic, immunosuppressed, insomnia, slow metabolism, poor hearing. We had good hearing, now we're poor hearing. Tough, unfit, visually impaired, and we've got a couple of scars. Our skills are in cooking, dance, electrical engineering, spaceship engineering, hacking, armed melee, unarmed melee, skilled in EVA suits, spaceship piloting, zero-G ops, archery, physics, stealth. System traveler is currently set to 0. And then we got our life history over here. All right, let's submit our resume. And here we are in the actual game. So this is how we play. It's this top-down view. We're currently docked to a station, to K-Leg Station. And then down here is our ship, which the ship that we played on stream, I think was about this big. And was more full with required components. Now we've got kind of a, if I hit, is it F1? There we go. F1 gets rid of the fog of war. We have this wing over here, which is sort of going to be our bridge with the nav station. We've got sort of an engineering section over here, our heater, battery, and a few other bits and bobs. And then we've got a passenger compartment in the middle, which we will likely convert into a cargo compartment so that we can haul more salvage. We did get over 5,000 bucks, so we can go and start with a salvage license, which is going to be good. It doesn't leave us a ton of money to spare, so it's going to be very important that we do some pretty profitable exchange to get started. Well, we are into this video. We're 31 minutes in. I would hate for this first episode to just be character creation, and yet maybe that's good. I can always label this as episode 0 for character creation, and then episode 1 can be the proper start of the game. So perhaps I'll do that because we're already half an hour into it. I mean, what good RPG doesn't take at least half hour to roll your character, right? Folks, so we will put a cut in here. If you are new to the channel, of course, subscribe so you don't miss anything. You can even hit the bell if you're feeling feisty. In general, dropping a like and leaving a comment is really good for the YouTube algorithm. And I'm very much looking forward to playing this very crunchy, hardcore space sim RPG. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.